Gear doesn't matter. An argument that if it was seen in front of a jury would go all the way to the Supreme Court. If I were to describe the people that are on both sides of the argument, I would say that those that say gear doesn't matter are the hyper creatives, those that focus on emotional and scenic beauty, while being content with the gear that they have, not needing to upgrade every year. Those that say that gear does matter are a bit more technical, always focusing on the latest lens, the camera with the bigger sensor, better autofocus, and always wanting to be at the bleeding edge of technology, maybe because it's their job. Both sides require a little bit of each other's argument. Creatives need to have some sort of technical knowledge about the exposure triangle, what their camera is capable of doing, so that they can work with or around those limitations. For the technical person, they need to have some sort of creative delivery. Your audience will get bored with that crispy B-roll or that beautiful slow motion that was shot on red with 600 FPS if there's no proper story or information given. I'll reserve my opinion for the end, but for the moment being, welcome back everybody. My name is Asimi Hongos. Let's dive into why gear does matter. Gear impacts your approach. When you're giving a creative problem, for example, taking someone's portrait, if I were given the choice between an iPhone and a high-end camera, I know my approach would be much different with the iPhone, knowing that I wouldn't shoot backlit or low-light portraits, because later down in post, I don't have the 5 stops of dynamic range to play with. With a high-end camera, I would lose its compactness, ease of use, and friendliness as people forget how to be themselves in front of a huge lens. Later in editing, I would be much more cautious with the phone photos, as heavy editing introduces grain, distortion, and a washed out look if there's too many filters going on. Your tools give you options that guide your project forward. Number 2, creative freedom. With any phone or an old DSLR, you can definitely achieve the standard A-roll shot. The phone will shine because of its user friendliness and amazing autofocus. No one needs to know anything about the exposure triangle to know that an A-roll shot looks good, but the phone will fall apart when you're in low light situations or you're trying to get that beautiful shallow depth of field. Naturally, the DSLR will perform much better in low light situations since you're giving a wide variety of lenses to play around with. You're able to tack on more add-ons to the camera like camera rigs, external mics, to help you achieve whatever look you're aiming for. It's important to ask yourself, what is it that you're trying to achieve? Are you trying to do a video tutorial? Are you a vlogger? Or are you trying to go big and become the next big tech YouTuber or Robert De Janeiro? You'll 100% have more choice with the high-end gear. Number 3, gear matters when you're making money. I don't mean your sister's paying you $35 in a McChicken in order to take her prom photos. I mean you're making real, cold hard cash that helps you pay your bills. When you reach a certain level, you probably want as little friction as possible to deliver your client's work at a speedy pace. I'll be honest with y'all, a majority of these videos is purely setup. Setting up the lights, the mics, the lenses, the camera, taking out the external monitor, making sure that I'm in focus, making sure that I say my lines between 5 to 8 minutes, as this old DSLR just randomly likes to shut off mid, and so much more later down in post. It is nice to splurge on gear. However, as I purchased gear through the years, I realized that a high-end camera with a lot of features sometimes it doesn't help production but hurts it, as we're unable to understand and use the camera to its full extent. Number 4, gear matters to your clients. People, when they think about filmmaker or photographer, have a certain image in their head. They expect big cameras, big lenses, and lots of lights. Filmmakers are buying red cameras, A, because they're amazing, duh, and it gives the clients the perception that the artist knows what they're doing. I've heard stories about ad agencies who just solely hire a creative crew because they own a red system. Being a photographer, you're probably not going to show up to a wedding using your mom's DSLR and kit lens. Your clients expect a big camera with a minimum of 3 lenses. If you don't dress for success, then people start to worry about the results you're able to produce. Clients have a certain perception and expectation about the profession, and it's up to us as artists and creatives to live up to that expectation. Number 5, it's evolution. If gear didn't matter, then we would still be shooting on Kodak Brownie cameras with 1 ISO, 1 shutter speed, and 1 aperture. On the tech side, nothing would ever evolve. However, that's not the case. Literal industries are formed around the problems that creative people face, from lights, camera, audio, and lighting. Recently, I watched a YouTube video where there's an entire warehouse dedicated to helping filmmakers choose the right lens for their project. Everyone there is extremely knowledgeable about the capabilities of a lens and the unique look that a filmmaker can get if they place this on the right body. Plus, I find it very gratifying to know that there are hundreds of engineers from all around the globe dedicating themselves to solving creative people's problems and give us what we want. Number 6, it's a flex. We all know it. We buy gear so that our friends know and everybody around us knows that we have the best of the best of the best with honor, sir. Shout out to the Fro. In my opinion, why we say gear doesn't matter is so that the beginner is not discouraged from starting. I encourage everybody to start. Go ahead, start making videos and photos. Grab your mom's 1995 tape camera, an unsalted potato, or an iPod from 2012. Just go ahead and start. My conclusion is that the phrase is just a phase. I've been on both sides of the argument, and I know that most creatives know when they've hit that hardware limitation, where you need to upgrade, where you're making enough money that you can justify the purchase. Just know that too much or too little gear will not make you more creative, which at the end of the day is what we're all trying to accomplish. So that's it for right now. What do you think in the comments down below? Does gear matter? Does it not matter? Why or why not? Let me know, as I would love to know your opinions. Make sure to go upvote me on the Foundation app as I'm trying to sell some NFTs, and follow me on Twitter. At the end of the day, I thank you so much for your time and your attention. My name is Azmi Hongos, and I'll catch you in the next one.